Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Chronicles of Diesel, a monthly special podcast where we walk through all of Vin Diesel's life. With me is my friend Devin. I'm Ethan, and we're going to talk about Vin Diesel.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the mortgage, not the store, not my team and their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
Is that the full quote?
I guess, according to this article from Men's Journal.
I do like the not my team and their bullshit.
I don't remember that, but it's from Fast and Furious.
Fast 1, yeah. It has to be.
I remember that I live my life a quarter mile at a time, but I don't remember him ever saying,
that's a model
not my team and their bullshit.
Huh. Not the store?
Wait, now that I think about it, he's all about the family and the team, and then he says, not my team and their bullshit. Wait a minute.
I think by team he means the sports team.
Oh,
okay. Not the Broncos, you know what I mean? I don't care about all that stuff. It's the family and the fast. Well, was he all about family in that first movie?
I mean, his character arc. I guess we'll have to find out in several months.
Yeah. Yes, so this is the Chronicles of Diesel, a brand new monthly podcast that we, Devin and I, do a movie podcast every week, and we wanted to do something special once a month, and that is the Chronicles of Diesel. Mm-hmm. Basically, the way this show, this episode, what you're listening to right now, this episode here, we're going to be explaining how the show is going to be going in the future, giving some tidbits, laying down a schedule, and kind of getting a vibe set for us. Basically, once a month, we will have watched a film that Vin Diesel has starred in, or directed, produced maybe even, played a voice in, who knows, maybe even a video game. We're going to be reviewing one of these once a month. We're going to be going through Vin Diesel news. We're going to be looking at the history of his life around the filming of the project that we're going to be reviewing. I think it's going to be a really fun time. We've been kind of planning this in the backyard, whatever. We've been playing this for a while.
We've been building it in the garage, like Vin Diesel does in Fast and Furious.
Exactly. And eventually we're going to lift the truck up by ourselves. But yeah, we're going to be watching a Vin Diesel film basically once a month, and we're going to be going
media, not just. But for the most part, it will be films. Yeah,
we're going to be experiencing a Vin Diesel piece of art once a month, in order, together.
Does that mean we have to cover like any home videos he did when he was like 6?
Backyard wrestling tapes.
Backyard.
Yes. Well, maybe
we'll have to reach out to the family.
Exactly. Each episode is going to start off with some basic Vin Diesel news. What's he been saying on Instagram? What's he been tweeting on? Does he tweet? I don't know, because I'm not the news hound for Vin Diesel. but we're going to be going through what's his life like at the moment. Then we're going to talk about the history, about what we're going to be reviewing. Hopefully you watched it along with us leading up to the episode. It's obviously all going to be spoilers. We're going to be diving deep into the film itself, exposing our opinions on it, and kind of really taking an eye on Vin Diesel's acting, his performance, how well he fares up against big actors like The Rock or no names. How does he treat these people?
Yeah, it's less about the movie or medium he's in. It's more of how did he perform exactly. Like, for example, we're going to be watching Saving Private Ryan at some point, and people generally say that Saving Private Ryan is probably the best war movie, but is Vin Diesel good in it? You know what I mean? That is the question.
Yeah. A movie like that, you said he's in 20 minutes of the film?
I think
We're going to be experiencing the whole film, not just the Vin Diesel part, but we're really going to be focusing on the Vin Diesel part. Obviously, we're going to be, just like as always on Sonic Movie Show, whenever we watch a thing, we're going to be recapping the whole thing and, talking about the movie, but we're really going to be focusing on Vin Diesel when he's on screen, when people talk about him on screen, etc. Do you have any thing you want to add about that?
For me, I guess this whole show, after we did, because Sonic Movie Show is an ending. If you watched an episode that we'll be recording after this about what our plans are for the future, as the Sonic movie is eventually going to be out of theaters and maybe be on Blu-ray. Maybe we'll do a review on that. I don't know. But maybe we won't be getting any more Sonic movie news. So you're like, well, how can the Sonic movie show move forward? And I think we have to find the next, to me, like, Sonic, was an underdog story. It started with Sonic being kind of just like a joke. And I'm hoping that with Vin Diesel, I think Vin Diesel kind of has a bad rap maybe. And I'm hoping throughout this journey we experience something and we are surprised by the end. I don't know.
I'd like to walk in to this series of podcasts feeling one way about Vin Diesel and walking out, well, A, like 3 years older, but B, with another view about Vin Diesel. He's been in a lot of stuff, a lot more than you think.
And I'm very excited for like the video games because I know more about the video games in terms of especially Wheelman and all those. I'm really excited to play those.
You know more about video games than I do.
I know.
This is crazy. I don't like this.
So we all have our different, I guess, Vin Diesel impressions. Maybe we should talk about Vin Diesel in terms of like what we know of him before we go any further, I feel like.
So I guess, I'll start us off then, because I bet you have more you want to talk about than I do. All I really ever knew about Vin Diesel is two things. He was a voice in The Iron Giant, and he's in these terrible movies called The Fast and the Furious. Now, this is before I've seen those movies, but these are in these goofy, you make fun of these films. Why do people go see The Fast and the Furious? He doesn't even look like he can act. That was all I ever knew about Vin Diesel, going into watching some of his films for the first time. Do I think he is an amazing actor? No. From the things I've seen, I do not think he is all that great. But he does have a lovable quality to him. You're like, that's Vin Diesel. I'm on his side.
You can bullshit with him. Like, if you had a beer with him, like sitting in a jacuzzi, like, you know you could get along. You just know, like, the vibe would be
exactly.
Great.
He always looks like he takes himself really seriously, and you can't take him really seriously, but you have a fun time doing so. That's my impression of him right now. I don't think he is, like... I don't even think he's on the level of The Rock in terms of charisma and acting ability, but I do think of him as on the level of The Rock in terms of watchability and fun factor.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of an action hero. That's kind of how, at least for me, granted, the only movies I've really seen him in, I've seen him in Saving Private Ryan, Iron Giant. I've seen Pitch Black on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was like 12, but that was so long ago, the plot probably went way over my head, and I probably didn't think anything of it. Because I really don't have an opinion. And I've seen him in Wheelman and all the Fast movies besides, obviously Fast 9's coming out and Hobbs and Shaw. But yeah, I would kind of agree with you that he's definitely a fun guy. He has a smile that I just love. And he's ripped, which to me I'm just always impressed by. Well, I can't be ripped. And yeah, he just seems like a really like dude you can just have a beer with. That's the kind of like, that's the vibe I'm getting from him. I don't even drink. When you
said jacuzzi with a beer... That honestly, that fits.
Like, that fits. I don't even drink, and I'm just like, you know what? If you offered me a beer, maybe I'd have one. I don't know.
I mean, if Vin Diesel offers you anything, even if it's like, hey, I'm offering you a chance to do something for me, take the blame for my murder, I would still do that.
If I ever make a movie and he's available and I can get him, I will make him the star. I don't even care if it like, I need a female lead. All right, Vin Diesel, you're gonna be it.
So that's your opinion on Vin Diesel?
Yeah, I think we both are in the same boat here generally.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was in the minority. Well, there's only two of us, so I didn't know if I was on the opposite side of the coin for you. If you thought he was an amazing actor or not.
I think he's gonna prove us not totally wrong. Like I think he's definitely gonna have bad movies. I mean, from the Fast movies we've seen, I know that there's definitely movies I'm like, Yeah. But then, like, we watched, I think it was, Fast 8, and I'm like, you know what? I think he was the best. I think besides The Rock, he was the best actor in this film.
Yeah.
But The Rock's also kind of playing himself sometimes, so you gotta, that's kind of the challenge.
But The Rock is very good at himself.
Exactly. So the thing is, like, is he playing himself? Do we know? Like, I think that's where, once we learn more about his life, maybe we realize that maybe he is a completely different person than he is on screen. Maybe he is a goofy guy. Who knows?
Well, and then, so you're going to be leading the Vin Diesel News Watch. So you'll be looking into his personal life.
The Diesel Watch. Yeah.
So you'll be an expert on how he is off camera.
I follow him. I follow him on the gram, and I like everything because I'm a big fan. Do you want me to start doing that now? Because I did a quick look.
Oh yeah, why don't you give it to us, and then I'll give some history on Vin Diesel.
All right, sounds good. So. On Instagram, I think it's his main platform. He does have a Twitter, but he only tweeted, looks like, 3 times. in February, all in early February, but it was all for Fast 9. Like he retweeted the trailer, retweeted a magazine Total Film, and retweeted.
Some actors do that. I follow Will Arnett on Twitter. He barely tweets, but all of a sudden, all he ever does is retweet his new Lego show on Fox. So
the latest thing he tweeted, and I haven't watched it, and I guess it fails. That's my failure as a reporter. Is he tweeted on February 7th, be creative and artistic in your own way, .. #blessed, #lead with love. And the article is from pedestrian.tv. My one regret in life is not finding Vin Diesel's karaoke vids sooner. That might be a whole episode right there. I have to see when that came out. We might have to wait a while to get to it. But if he's doing karaoke, that changes the game, I think. So I might have to watch that and come back to you next month. But so yeah, he tweeted on that on Twitter, but not too much. He has over 300.8K followers, but not as big as his Instagram. Are you ready for his Instagram? Give me a guess on his follower count.
Ooh, 1.4 million. 1.4 million.
Much higher.
3.5 million.
You're in the single digits? Give me more.
3.52 million?
Billion?
Oh, wait.
You're saying
35 million.
Double that.
70 million?
Sorry. Well, 61.5 million. And he only follows 60.
60 people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's how,
I mean,
very low. I bet his feed's got to be so small. If you
think
only
of it this
I
way.
follow like 300. So
he has a small family of 60, but he's a part of a huge family of 60 million.
Exactly.
Think of it that way.
He has over 1,572 posts. And within this last month here of February, he's posted, I want to say, it looks like a little over 9. He talked about, 500 million views on the Fast 9 trailer. A couple clips from Fast 9. He did one for Kobe there. He did with one of them. He's holding no, sorry, I can't talk about that one. It's January 20th. He was holding a surfboard and he was jacked. There's one with his, I think it's his daughter, I believe. I'm not sure. February 5th. Because he doesn't tag anybody in it. But he just seems like he's a family guy. Some press tour stuff. Him on the beach in like a tuxedo, but like the water's hitting him. If it wasn't expensive. There's this thing called...
He's got money.
Something for Bloodshot, like an interview video, but it's like him talking about Bloodshot, but like the video is just like behind the scenes of a photo shoot he did. I don't remember. I remember seeing this, but I don't remember what magazine it was for. But anyways, he like one picture he's holding like flares and like flexing his muscles. I'm like, that's dope. Another Fast 9 thing. I gave a shout out to Universal Studios, I believe, producers, and he has a star, by the way, on Hollywood, and that's I think the producers are like pointing at the star, and he said, shout out to them, marketing team, and all that. Or no, sorry, the marketing team.
He is very grateful for
and James Gunn
for
commented
Fast
on
and
it.
Furious.
James Gunn commented. A bunch of hand emojis.
Well, I mean, they do work together for Guardians of the Galaxy.
The most recent one, 2 hours ago, him showing another trailer for Bloodshot, which we will see opening night.
Oh,
hopefully.
yeah.
Or opening
basically,
weekend.
little sidestep here. Once a month, the first of every month, I'm not sure if we made this clear earlier. I'll definitely throw in a stinger at the end that says this. On the first of every month, you will get an episode of the Chronicles of Diesel. As we go through, like I said, chronologically
this
through
free
his
subscription
filmography. Yes. In addition to that, whenever a Vin Diesel movie comes out, like Bloodshot on March 18th, 13th, 13th, we're gonna be doing like not a full like walkthrough review of the movie, but we're going to be giving our thoughts about it, taking the place of a Sonic Movie Show episode. It's going to be like a Chronicles of Diesel special. So, like, it's not going to be taking the place of one of these episodes. It's its own unique thing. And by the time we finally get back around to Bloodshot or any of the other movies, it's going to be so much out of our minds that we're going to be able to see it fresh again, essentially. So,
and we'll probably do the same for Fast 9, which will be out in May. So,
yep. Oh, I can't wait. So, anything else on the Vin Diesel news front that you got?
Other than that, yeah, he's just doing press tour stuff for Bloodshot. He's trying to hype it up.
And movies are around the corner, so of course he's going to be making the rounds. He's going to be, he's going to visit, outlets or whatever, giving interviews. Actually, going back to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I watched on YouTube, Jim Carrey must have done a press tour, and at one point must have done a thing where he was at a convention or something, and you could go to him and do a mini interview with him, and then you leave and someone else takes the chair again. Because I watched one of those, and so that's kind of what you do, and that's probably what he's doing now.
Just touring all the Hollywood outlets.
Exactly.
Getting the movie out there. He'll be on Ellen, maybe. I don't know.
Now that we know what Vin Diesel's present is like, let's dip a bit into his past. I don't have full-blown notes here. I only have little tiny things, and I remember some of what it is. Basically, every episode we're going to be giving the history of his life, if we can find it, around the filming of that movie. Anything that we could find. Maybe comments a director said about him being on stage. Like anything, right? So since this episode we're not watching a thing.
You start from when he was born. When he was birthed.
Yes. He was born on July 18th in 1967 in California. Yeah, well, I mean, that is true. I have just a few little fun facts about him to kind of get you in the Vin Diesel mood and Vin Diesel spirit. So, Vin Diesel is not his real name.
What?
Now, that might not be actually... So, like, you knew that was the case. A lot of people actually don't realize that.
His last name is Diesel, guys. Come on.
You don't know his name, and I do. Give me your guess on what you think Vin Diesel's real name is.
I know I saw it, like, months back, but I don't remember it, so I really don't know. Christopher, or no, it's gotta be like Daniel. Where was, I'm trying to think of, like, where was his parents from, like anything like that. I don't know any of this information. I don't know, dude. It could be anything.
So his real name, although I think at this point, since he goes by Vin Diesel so much, he might have it changed to Vin Diesel. But his real name, or at least the name he was born with, is Mark Sinclair.
That, not gonna lie, not a big fan of Mark, but Sinclair as a last name is pretty dope.
Yeah. He has a brother named Paul, who looks kind of like Vin Diesel, but with a lot of hair. This man is very hairy.
Is he as ripped?
I don't think so. But he also
big,
looks like
though.
he's
Is he a
very
big
happy
guy?
with his life. He looks like he's really happy with his life.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, he was born in 1967. He's California born. So, when you look at Vin Diesel, what ethnicity do you think he is?
Isn't he? He's black, right?
So he identifies as quotes, definitely a person of color. However, his mother is English, German, and Scottish descent.
Okay. So
he's never met his birth father at all. Now, he has a stepdad who is black, and his stepfather is like, I don't know if he was the one that really taught him about acting and all that. He was involved in that community growing up. But he identifies as a person of color. I think looking at him like, oh yeah, he's I don't think he's white, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's never met his real father.
Oh man, damn.
Yeah, I know. He has
so sad.
So in the Fast and Furious, one of the main characters is played by Michelle Rodriguez. Dom, as she says a lot.
I was not prepared for that.
Around 2001, they dated a bit, and they have a really
man. I gotta learn more about that later on.
Yeah, they have like a long friendship. Like they hung out a lot, especially during the filming of these movies. They were like friends. They played lots of games like Tekken and whatever together.
That's the definition of a friend.
Yeah, well, we've never played Tekken, and I barely consider you my friend. But as of 2007, he has a wife, and he has 3 children with her, and his youngest daughter was born in, I think, 2015, and her name is Pauline, and he named her after Paul Walker.
Dude, I can't be hit with that stuff right now. I guess
Yeah.
it's part of the journey.
It's true. Now, here is a surprising fact. When you think of Vin Diesel, now granted, we do see him through the lens of his films, and the films that you and I have seen of him, for the most part, are the Fast and Furious, so that does paint our perception of him. But when you think of Vin Diesel, what type of person do you think he is? What type of hobbies do you think he has?
Weightlifting. Like, he's definitely in the gym. I mean, I saw on Instagram he surfs, so maybe he's from California, so maybe he surfs a little bit. Maybe, obviously, like race car driving, or he's into race car in some capacity. Maybe some BMX. And he likes action movies. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess we don't really know too much about his personal
Right.
life besides, like, he seems like he probably is a dad. I mean, he has 3 kids, so he's probably more of a dad than we think he is. Like the stereotypical dad.
So now, do you think of him as someone that could be a nerd?
Maybe a closeted nerd, not a guy who, like...
Oh, he's not closeted.
Well, I'm saying more of like a dude who, like... Because there's always people who are like, yeah, I like Kingdom Hearts. But, like, they won't say it unless, like, they're in the... It depends on who they're around. If they're if you're... Let's say, like, you're a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, right? And you're the only person in the room with them. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, I love Kingdom Hearts, you know? But if he was around all his jock friends, he's going to be like, fuck that, nerd. That's the kind of... Maybe, but it might be because he's a big masculine man, and that's just how our society seems to work. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad.
I mean, that's how racism spreads.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, no, really, like, there's definitely like toxic masculinity, and no offense, usually the people who are the most toxic men usually are the bigger macho man dudes, football players, any of them. But I'm probably totally wrong.
So for over 2 decades, Vin Diesel has been a hardcore Dungeons & Dragons DM. He loves Dungeons & Dragons. For the 30th anniversary issue of Dungeons & Dragons magazine, he wrote the foreword to it. He loves Dungeons & Dragons.
Dude,
that's
this
like,
man.
He loves it so much. That's what he does.
See, our perception's already changed. Our perception,
Exactly.
like, the journey's already
And if you think
so much
about
different.
it, like, what do you do when you're in Dungeons & Dragons a lot? Well, like, you have a really good game. You're acting. You're having fun. You're making a story together. Exactly. So clearly, you can kind of see that that's part of his lineage there. He loves Dungeons & Dragons.
Dude, now I just want to play Dungeons and Dragons with him.
I want him to be my DM, and I've never even played Dungeons &
Maybe
Dragons.
that's the end goal for this show. That
we
the
get him
last
on.
episode is he bees our DM.
I would love that for like a mini campaign. So, at the age of 7, Vin Diesel was in his first acting thing. It was a small play in his town. I forgot the name of it. I apologize. How he got the role is before you learned about Vin Diesel, what I said about his Dungeons & Dragons thing, everything you described, he fell into his role in a very what you described Vin Diesel way. 7 years old, with I think his cousin and a friend. There was a couple kids. They broke into a theater, like a production play theater, and were vandalizing it. And the production host or whatever saw them and offered them jobs. So he actually
This
got
only
into the
happens
play.
in like the 70s and 80s. Like, imagine you rob
Exactly.
a Blockbuster and the guy's like, "Are you like looking for money because I can
you
give
a
you a
film
job?"
buff?
Like
Yeah.
you're like, "I'm robbing you for money because I can't feed my kids." And the guy's like, "You know what? I can offer you a job like 40 hours a week, $7 an hour." Like, and the guy's like, "You know what? Honestly, I'll stop robbing you and take that job." It never happens now. I feel
Right.
like you never hear about that. Oh, if you hang out around a record store, you'll get a job.
I mean, yeah, 7 years old. If he was born in 67, that would have been 74. So yeah, you're right. That's on it. So yeah, that's how he got into his first thing. I don't know how that went for him or whatnot. And I purposely stayed away from learning his history about how he got into actual real acting as an adult, because we're gonna save that for the first episode of the Chronicles of Diesel. Although I guess this is technically the first episode, but our first real episode. So that is the little bit of tidbit history I have for you about Vin Diesel's life before then. So
And this was it was when he was 7. All
yes.
this happened. Do you even? I don't even know what the concept of vandalizing was when I was 7.
Probably spray paint.
You think maybe they were just trying to sneak in?
I don't think they would have had spray paint in 74, but I guess they were just.
Oh, they had spray paint in 74.
I don't think the man would have hired these kids if they were breaking stuff. You know what I mean? Smashing windows.
Or maybe they just thought they could sneak in and hang out. I don't know.
That's probably. I mean, 7 years old. You're not like smoking blunts. You know, the 70s were wild. But
do we know if he smokes the blunt?
He has to.
He's in California, baby.
He probably literally is finishing an exhale of weed smoke before getting on camera every single episode.
You think he's like that? I think he maybe like dabbles in it like on a Sunday afternoon.
I don't know.
I don't think he's doing
didn't
it.
Realize he was playing Dungeons and Dragons, so this man is mysterious.
He's hitting the bong while he's like,
and then the dragons.
And then there was 3 dragons. Hold up.
Exactly.
And then they ate your head. And there was 8 Mustangs or whatever.
Exactly. Names them after his cars. So
yeah, the dragon's name is Mustang.
Yeah, exactly. Mustang, Dodge Challenger,
the 3-headed menace dragon,
Chevy Silverado. So yeah, that's so every month we're going to be talking about the history of his life around the movie. So next month we'll actually go into how did he get his first big break in acting, like his first real big break. So right now, I'd like to actually walk through with you, Devin, his filmography, and essentially what our schedule will be like for this show. Like I said, this is once a month, so basically, if we look at our schedule here, we're doing this for a couple of years. We're going.
I can't believe we're signing a contract right here.
I know. I mean, we can jump ship at any time, except not really. Vin Diesel will hunt us down.
You guys need to hold us accountable, all right?
So like I said, watching in order one of his movies or shorts or something a month. In some cases, we're going to be doubling up, doing 2 for 1. So we're going to be going through the list right now. I'm going to explain our full thing here. Our first thing, his first role he's ever been in, is in a movie called Awakenings. He was in a small role. It wasn't credited. This was back in 1990. It's a little over 2 hours, and we're going to be watching that for our first episode.
All for uncredited small role.
I know. And because of that, alongside of it, his first short, which he was he directed, produced, and he was the star of it in 1995. So 5 years later, he did his own short film.
Man,
I would assume this is what got him more noticed. It's called Multifacial.
I'm curious to wonder
anything about it.
I'm curious to see. I said I'm curious to wonder. I'm curious to see if, like, he went to film school and stuff like that. Because usually you have your first short after, like, film school. You get maybe $100,000 from a bank or some rich guy to be like,
yeah.
Hey, can you produce my movie for me? But it says it's produced by him, so I wonder if he raised money or something. I'm actually really curious about
I'm actually interested. It's about 20 minutes. So our first episode is going to be Awakenings and Multifacial. I'll explain where you can find those, at the end of this episode. After that, he was in a movie called Strays, and he was like the actor in it. It was starring Vin Diesel. It's a Vin Diesel movie. That was in 97, only a couple years after Multifacial. We'll learn more about it. My guess is that he got more notice because of his short and was actually like a part of the scene. So then right after is probably, I would say, the biggest movie he's ever been in. Would you disagree?
I would say the Fast movies are bigger. I mean, definitely up until that point. And probably, honestly, like looking at this list, not until I mean, you can argue Pitch Black, but I'm saying more well-known. Besides the Fast saga, Saving Private Ryan is... Not saying people know... When people say Saving Private Ryan, you're not thinking of Vin Diesel, because he's not a main character.
I think a lot of people, if they looked at this list, would probably argue that it's the best film on the list.
Yes, I will say that. Granted, that could change after we see everything, but I'm not holding out.
You mean The Pacifier isn't going to be as...
I heard bad things about that movie. I've heard
it's
really
a short
bad...
movie. So yeah, Saving Private Ryan will be our third episode. I think enough has been said about this movie. I've never seen it.
I can't believe it.
It's going to be
this
my
whole
first
time
seeing the movie.
I can't believe you haven't seen the best war movie.
Hey, some of us have to get out of the closet in different ways.
I'm just saying. I'm more shocked. I'm not like upset with you. I'm just more like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad a Vin Diesel podcast is making you sit down and watch a great movie or a masterpiece.
Literally because of Vin Diesel, and I'm going to be bringing a critical lens to it only on the Vin Diesel parts. I might just stop the movie after Vin Diesel is done in it. That will be episode 3. Episode 4 is going to be another twofer. It is an animated classic, The Iron Giant,
really good,
1999, along with another movie he's in called Boiler Room in the year of 2000. So we're combining both of those movies into one episode. After that, I would say this is when he actually becomes big in terms of like an identity. It's Pitch Black, which is the first Chronicles of Riddick movie. The DVD calls it the Chronicles of Riddick Pitch Black.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie has an unrated cut. This is also in the year 2000.
Oh,
so
we're watching that one.
Theatrical version and the unrated. So there's a few movies that on this list here that have director's cuts. We're going to be watching the director's cuts. We're going to be watching the longer versions.
We need all the material because
exactly.
It's not his fault the director chose to cut things. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So we're going to be watching this unrated cut. Adds 6 minutes, but I guess we're used to that with Fast and the Furious.
Unrated as in like, we'll see something?
I would imagine there's just blood. A lot more blood. After that, episode 6 of the Chronicles of Diesel gets into what he is the most well known for, the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, we have to watch that again in less than 6 months. Oh, man. God damn it.
That's okay, because it's going to be like 8 more episodes till we watch another one of those movies. So
fair. We have a lot of Chronicles of Riddick later on. So
yeah, I think enough is. So we don't need to talk about Fast and Furious right now. That's episode 6. Episode 7 is another kind of serious movie called The Knockaround Guys. If I remember correctly, this is about a case trial where I think this is the one. Yes,
I know nothing about it. I've never heard of it.
See. I looked at the synopsises of all of these movies. I think this is the one where he is on trial and he is going to be his own lawyer. It's a short movie, also 2001. That's episode 7. Episode 8 of the Chronicles of Diesel is also another Vin Diesel well-known thing, Triple X.
I haven't seen it, and I know that it's like classic Vin. So that's another one that like I'm highlighting on my calendar right now.
2002. So that's that. Number 9 is A Man Apart. He stars in it and he has a partial producer credit.
Okay,
so that's an interesting
from your notes,
thing.
I thought he was only a partial producer. So you're like, how can we bend this?
No. He's in the movie, and I don't know. See, I don't know what his partial producer credit is about, but he partially produced it. Maybe he put in some direction of like, I want this to be like this in here. We need to focus on this for this part. Maybe he's like that. So after that episode 9, we have episode 10, which is The Chronicles of Riddick. It has a director's cut, which actually significantly enhances the length of the film up to over 2 hours. So that's exciting. So now, and that's a classic of him. Episode 11 is our first real sidestep into different things. It's a twofer. We have The Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury and The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay. Dark Fury is an animated side story. I guess it's like a prequel but to the Chronicles of Riddick movie, but it takes place after Pitch Black.
Gotcha.
It's short. It's a half hour. Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay is a video game for the original Xbox in 2004.
Boy, I know you collect systems, but do you have an Xbox?
I'll have. Well, by the time we get to that, we'll be able to play it. Yeah, we're going to be playing this video game, and we're going to be talking about it. We might not beat it. You know what I mean?
I think
it all depends.
I think the best option for us is we do kind of like, because we have a YouTube channel with the Sonic Movie Show. We'll do an audio review, but I think we'll maybe, if we have time, if we're able to physically record it, like do like a general just like a raw gameplay of it. Be like, hey, we played an hour. Because that's how long the movies are, an hour. Maybe we play 2 hours, and then we just upload that on YouTube, so more of just like extra content kind of thing, maybe.
I never looked it up, but I have a feeling that this game is backwards compatible on Xbox One.
Okay.
So that's very easy to capture footage from.
Just an idea. We don't have to, but maybe I think it'd be good to just add extra content to the YouTube, because I know a lot of people are just going to be listening, but hey.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, man.
We'll worry about it when we get to that, because that's episode 11. That's literally February of next year.
Hey, happy 26th birthday.
So, yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
So, Dark Fury and Escape from Butcher Bay is episode 11. Episode 10 was the Chronicles of Riddick movie. This is the only part where we're actually doing things out of order. Dark Fury and Escape from Butcher Bay came before the movie, but they all came in the same month. But both Dark Fury and Escape from Butcher Bay are tie-ins. You are supposed to have seen the movie first. Even though the game came out at the beginning of June of that year, and Chronicles of Riddick came out halfway through.
Confusing marketing.
Yes, it is. They are still like, you wouldn't watch the short.
I guess maybe they're trying to hype up the movie to be like, hey guys, coming out in theaters this month, play this game.
So we are going to be doing those out of order. It's the only point in this series that we're going to be doing things out of order, but there isn't really going to be a whole lot of like Vin Diesel history that is going to be like broken now by doing it. So putting those aside, that's the way it is. All three of these things are 2004 era, so that's that. Episode 12. So actually, I guess this is February. That's how years work.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it would be 12. March. So, yes, the other one, technically February, covering February, but...
Anyway, let's put that aside. Number 12 is his first, what I think is his first actual comedy film, called The Pacifier. The poster is a classic 2005 to 2010 comedy starring a well-known actor.
Oh, man, I can't wait for jokes that...
Don't land,
or jokes that like are in such bad taste now, or just wouldn't fly today. I was watching Dodgeball in December. I watched Dodgeball in December, and I'm like, there's a lot of homophobic jokes in this movie that I don't remember because you're just weren't thinking about that then in 2005.
All people remember about that movie is if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Dodge a ball.
That's it. That's it. But that's. We're rounding out our first year by ending it with The Pacifier. Crazy to think that we're actually planning this out more than a year in advance. But
I can't believe I'm going to tell my kids if I have any, be like, hey, for 3 years I covered Vin Diesel.
You're an expert.
Put that on my resume. If I'm at the local supermarket and I hear someone talking shit about Vin Diesel, I'll be like, excuse me?
You rip your shirt off to show the Vin Diesel symbol underneath. You go to the rescue.
Yeah, maybe at the end of all this.
You're going to be a reply guy on Twitter, but for Vin Diesel.
I see any hate in his comments, I'm like, do you even know what this fucking man went through to get to where he is?
You deserve Vin Diesel. So, we're rounding out our year with The Pacifier. Walking into the next year, we have another movie called Find Me Guilty. This one might be the lawyer one. I don't remember.
That sounds more like the lawyer.
Yeah, but the knockaround guys, whatever. 2006, fine. So episode 14 is another twofer, and there's a good reason for it. First up is The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. He has a very small cameo in this movie. If you've seen it, you know. He's at the very, very, very end. I don't consider
30 seconds.
we should watch the whole. I don't think we should spend a whole episode just.
I honestly
for
just
that.
might watch that scene.
Yeah, well, I'll probably watch the whole thing again. Who cares? But we're doing it a twofer with another movie he's in called Babylon A.D. It is a sci-fi
I remember
movie.
that. I remember that.
Yeah, it's a science fiction movie from 2008. So, yeah, we're going to do those two together. After that is another twofer, but not really another twofer. We're doing Fast and Furious, otherwise known as Fast and Furious 4, as well as Los Bandoleros. Yeah, that's how we're going to call it. It's a short film that he produced and directed, and is a prelude to Fast and Furious.
Interesting.
Basically, Fast and Furious opens with a chase where they're trying to get oil in the Dominican Republic. I don't know if you remember that. I do. The prequel short film explains why that's all of that is happening, like their life, because we jump from not knowing Vin Diesel's life because he wasn't in Too Fast, Too Furious to this. So this is explaining like why they're there, what their life is like. So we're doing those together. It makes sense. They fit thematically. After that, episode 16 is another twofer, believe it or not. And it's a pair of video games. First up, we have Wheelman, a video game.
I'm going to say Wheelman is going to be the best video game you'll ever play.
Really?
I am not. I'm so excited for Wheelman. I'm like, I can't wait for this year to pass.
Actually, I've never played it. Never even heard about it, really, all that much. The other video game we're doing for this episode is the Chronicles of Riddick: Assault on Dark Athena. So
I wonder what Athena
this is tricky. This game is in part a remake of Escape from Butcher Bay, but also a sequel. It's a bit confusing because a lot of times when you look at Escape from Butcher Bay, they'll list PS3 and Xbox 360 in 2009 as like when it got remade, but it's not that game. And Assault from Dark Athena happened because they wanted more eyes on the original, and since it wasn't backwards compatible with the 360 at the time, they just remade it. But they clearly made a sequel thing, so that's why I have them separated. So we're going to be basically going through that. And hey, we'll learn all about it in over a year when we get there in 2009. We're starting in 1990 and we're going to end up in 2009. So that's that. After that, episode 17 is Fast 5, classic Fast and Furious movie. We argue that that's where the series actually got crazy. Episode 18 is Fast and Furious 6. Again, enough is said about that. There might be a certain jump in that movie, which is like the album art for this podcast. After that is another twofer. It's another Riddick special. So this is similar to the other Chronicles of Riddick stuff where there was a tie-in piece of stuff to it. So Riddick Blindsided, 2013, is a very short animated film. I think it's more of like an animated comic kind of thing. I obviously didn't watch it. And it ties into the 2013 movie just titled Riddick, which I completely forgot happened. I thought that Riddick was definitely not from this decade. I thought that they left that behind, but
no.
He owns the Chronicles of Riddick like rights completely. He owns them.
That's
which
actually kind of cool.
Baller as fuck.
Yeah.
We can get into it more in the history, but I mean, it's a year from now. Tokyo Drift. He came to them after that movie like was done filming or whatever, and said like, "Hey, we need to take this to this direction. I want to take it here," and blah 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 blah. And he negotiated for like he basically has control over Fast and Furious, even though he doesn't own it. And in part of those negotiations, he now owns the Chronicles of Riddick franchise rights. He owns that.
He's a
completely.
businessman.
That is his movie now. So of course, I mean, and to be honest, like to be able to own the movie you're in, I respect that completely. That is really
because you get your money. Get your money.
Exactly. But
Even
also,
though
like,
other people worked
make
on
the
it.
friend. I don't think that Riddick movie in 2013 was good from what I've heard, but fuck it. He can make them because he owns them. You know, that's
And he gets royalties more than
Yeah.
anyone else.
Exactly.
That's like unheard
he
of for
has
an actor
creative
too.
control over his own.
That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger owning like Terminator. Like that would be insane.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'll have to learn more later.
That twofer is episode 19. Also, by the way, I think Blindsided came after Riddick or something, but it's a twofer together, so they're tying stuff. Episode 20 of the Chronicles of Diesel is another off the wall type thing. It's Guardians of the Galaxy, the 2014 Marvel movie. He plays Groot, as we know, and that, from what I gather, is based off of his Iron Giant fame. They brought him in, I think, based off that. He only says one line, but you know what? He's in that movie a lot.
And the movie's good,
and he emotes a lot. So that's why it's its own episode. Just that. Hold on one second. Episode 21 is Furious 7, 2015. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. Episode 22 is The Last Witch Hunter, which is probably one of the worst movies on his filmography here.
I didn't see it, but I heard it was bad.
It looked, yeah. So now that's 22. 23 is a very interesting movie I've never heard about. It's called Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. It's a 2016 movie, and at least in theaters, in some screens, it was in 3D, in 4K, and ran at 120 frames per second. Movies normally run at 24 frames per second. I know Peter Jackson experimented with 48 frames per second.
That's 48
for Hobbit films.
And
this is 120. So I read the synopsis for this film because I wanted to make sure that he was in it to a good degree. This is about a 19-year-old kid named Billy Lynn who became an American war hero because he was caught on camera saving Vin Diesel's character's life in a war-torn area. And a lot of the movie is talked through in flashbacks where the present day is during a halftime show at a football game, and he's gonna like walk onto the field. That's why it's a long halftime walk. And I guess he has to go back to war right after the game is over, or something, like the next day, like they're being shipped out again. So
Jesus, oh man.
I don't think that I mean, granted, this is in literally 2 years from now, so. But I don't think that there's going to be a way for us to see it. Well, number one, I don't have a 3D TV. I have a 4K TV.
I just want to see it in the 120 FPS.
But that's the thing. I don't know if our TVs can have the hertz to do that. If there's a way to watch it 120 frames per second,
we have enough time.
A nice monitor.
We'll have enough time. We'll have to rent a theater out.
I know, right?
Maybe we can ask Vin. I'll reach out to him.
So I think that is clearly the biggest draw to that film. I had never heard of it, so I don't know if it's very good or not. After Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk is episode 24, so we finally hit year 2, finished year 2 off, with Triple X Return of Xander Cage. In 2017, do you remember them doing a sequel to Triple X?
I remember seeing trailers
3 years ago? Really?
Yeah.
This feels like Riddick, where I'm like, when did they do this? But, I don't know. It might not have done very well. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's 2017, which is crazy. And it's a short movie, too. So, episode 25 is, from what I have seen, the best Vin Diesel performance. The Fate of the Furious. This has a director's cut, which makes it, it's a bit much longer. Another 2017 film. That's going to be a fun one. Episode 26 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Man, he made some money, even if, like, some of those were side projects.
Yeah. 27 is Avengers Infinity War. Now, his character, Groot, is in it as much as a lot of the other characters in that movie. So we kind of can make it like that, but that might be a short episode. It's literally in 2 years from now. So after that is 2 small role films. Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is a sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, and Avengers Endgame. His character in Endgame is barely in it. I don't even think he says anything, but he's, so we'll go through those as a twofer. And then we're caught up to present day in 2 years with Bloodshot, with F9 and the upcoming video game Fast and Furious Crossroads. So those are all of the projects that
Do you think we'll ever catch up, though? I think we will eventually.
Yeah.
But, like, let's say he does 4 movies in the matter of these 2 years. That adds another 8 on top of that. That might be another year.
I didn't put these on the list, but he has a 2021 and 2023 upcoming pair of films. We've actually mentioned this a few times, both before the recording of this and after, and I want you to take a guess at what pair of movies, sequels, that he's going to be in. Take a guess.
There's got to be a Riddick film, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
There's 2 sequels to the same thing.
I know he's doing the 2 Fast movies.
Nope, ignoring those.
Oh, ignoring those.
These are confirmed. F10 isn't technically confirmed yet. At least he's not technically confirmed.
Sequels to movies now.
My friend, what if I told you he is going to be in Avatar 2 and 3?
Oh, I forgot. Yes. Yes.
He's going to be in that. If those movies ever come out. I didn't put these on the document because I don't believe that they're even going to hit those dates. By the time
here's a hot take. I think if Avatar 2 will be a bomb. Not a bomb in the sense of like any other movie, but like it'll be a failure to James Cameron. Like it's not. I don't think it's going to be making billion. I'll probably be wrong on that, but I don't know if people care enough about Avatar 2.
I have an almost unethical hatred of James Cameron post Terminator 2, so I am definitely biased. I think the original Avatar.
Maybe we should do an episode on just James Cameron. We might have to do it. Oh
my god, he's just so pretentious. But hey, if you like his movies, that's great. Aliens, I think, is the worst Alien movie. But it's fun.
How do you say Aliens is the worst?
I think Aliens...
When Aliens 4 exists.
I think Alien 4 is better than Alien Aliens. I really like Alien 4.
Wrong.
I really like Alien 4.
As Vin Diesel would say, you're wrong.
I really like Alien 4. Prometheus, awesome. Alien Covenant, really good.
I have to watch... The ones I haven't seen at Alien Covenant. But...
I'm not including Alien vs. Predator films.
Oh, no, don't worry about those.
I'm not including those. But yeah, Aliens just... This is like whatever. They weren't scary in those. I mean, they were, but there was never... Yeah, whatever. We could do an Aliens episode.
I was going to say, we'll turn this to the Alien podcast.
I just really like the first Alien movie. I bought it on VHS recently. So, yeah, that's 31 episodes of the Chronicles of Diesel laid out for you. Will this change? I'm sure it will. Maybe one day we'll decide, hey, once a month is
a lot
too far away. So, like, let's do a lot more of these in an episode. Maybe we'll do that one day. Who knows? Maybe we'll just give up. And this episode is pointless. But, hey, you know what?
Or we never stop until Vin Diesel comes on this show.
We'll just start over. We'll watch it from the beginning again.
Guess we're watching. Maybe our minds have changed. We'll be 85 years old when Vin Diesel's probably long dead, and we'll
exactly
be like, maybe one day he'll come on the show.
Exactly. So, I think we'll wrap this up here. We're going to be watching Awakenings and Multifacial for the next episode. So, you have until April 1st to have seen Awakenings.
It's not an April Fool's joke, by the way. This is not an April Fool's joke.
You can go ahead and you can find Awakenings. You can rent it on Amazon Prime. I know that. And you can watch Multifacial for free on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's official, but if you were to Google search Multifacial short film 1995, a YouTube channel about it pops up collecting certain things about it. And one of the videos is the full thing. So you can watch it on YouTube.
You said there's a channel who like analyzes it?
No, like this is like there's like 7 videos in it, and there's like an interview or like a reaction during 1995 to people that it affected or whatever. Like,
gotcha. I might watch those.
It's just a collection of media about it, I think. But so,
okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's on there. I'm sure there are other ways that we might not be able to condone to see some of these things, but we're always gonna point out how you can find these things if you want to watch them with us. Next month, we're going to be watching Awakenings and Multifacial, so we hope to see you there. Hope you have your notes. Hope you have your Vin Diesel opinions. Leave us your feedback on this episode. Leave a comment, give us a like, subscribe to us, give us a 5-star review. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. You can follow the show itself on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show.
This is all still revolving around Sonic.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe what if the end goal was we get Sonic and Knuckles is played by frickin' Vin Diesel or something.
Him to be in Sonic 2. Oh my god.
Dude, this channel would blow up.
Follow our channel on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. Follow me on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Yep, at Ethan Absolutely. Follow Devin over here on Twitter at Cursona YouTube. I'll spell that out for you. Cursona YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe to us on YouTube, please. If you like our show, you can find it on other podcast services.
Recommend it to a friend. Tell your
Apple
coworkers.
Podcasts.
Tell your coworkers that I found this crazy show.
I found this dumbass piece of content.
I found this crazy show where they basically signed the next 3 years of their life away to Vin Diesel.
And I can't stop laughing at it. Yeah.
Do it.
Follow us on those places. Please write us a review. Give us a comment. Give us something. Are you excited about watching Awakenings and Multifacial?
Have you heard of these
films? Be honest
films?
and say no. I never did, but I'm excited to see what they're like, and we'd like to see what your opinions are on it as well. Tweet at the show. Tweet at us. Don't tweet at Vin Diesel negative stuff. It's unsolicited. He doesn't want it. We're soliciting your opinions. Do we do a sign-off for this
any
show?
Vin Diesel hate? You throw it at us because we're
Throw it
gonna
at
be
us.
his punching bag, I guess.
Well,
Any sign
we're gonna
off?
see you. We're gonna see you on April 1st.
It's family. That's a good sign off right there.
Ooh.
It's family.
The most important people in this world are sitting in this room.
Listening to this show.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. The sign off will be. I'm leaving all of this in here.
That's
the
fine.
sign off will be. The most important things in life are listening to this show. Bye.
Bye.
JFK to LAX, my mics get checked. Coast to coast, I rock it most times, no sweat. Me to you, get what we do and never forget. Now's the time, fall out of line and take your first step. Feet, 5, 4, 4. I smell hip hop and I want some. And I spy with my little eye. 2 turntables, spin a record so fly. Fly like an eagle or soar like a pigeon. Lay it on thick, I'll give you just a smidgen. A little dabble do you, all you have to do is listen. Music be the movement, everybody on a mission. JFK to LAX, my mics get checked. Coast to coast, I rock it most times, no sweat. Me to you, get what we do and never forget. Now's the time, fall out of line and take your first step. Feet, 5, 4, 4. I smell hip hop and I want some. And I spy with my little eye. 2 turntables, spin a record so fly. Fly like an eagle or soar like a pigeon. Lay it on thick, I'll give you just a smidgen.